Always a good one to go with.
I was a big fan. Is
Hey,
that Zero Two?
everybody. Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. Smartmark Wrasslin Radio. Oh, hold
What's
on.
up, folks?
I have to evict an animal. My door is left open.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Derek. Next to me here on this side is Chris. I gotta figure out what way I'm pointing. Chris Huddleston at Huds Magruder on Twitter. Down below him is Dkatz at Dkatz88, or as I call him, Dkatz. And joining us this week is our good friend Jesse Knight. Welcome, Jesse. Thank you for joining us this week. That means if you're joining us, that means we'll be talking a little TNA Impact Wrestling. Good shows this week, actually. Fyter Fest is next week, so I'm actually genuinely excited for some wrestling coming up here. Of course, tonight we also have we have a great top 5. We have top 5 worst feuds ever.
I think we take an awful lot more joy in the worst ones than we do.
Really do.
Yeah.
I don't think it doesn't highlight us as very great fans of anything.
No, but there really is so much bad in wrestling, just in general. And sometimes it's late WCW when they're just throwing shit everywhere, and other times it's like, maybe this was just a little bit off. But there's a lot of bad.
What did Max Landis say? It's like, look, there's a lot of really bad wrestling, but when it's good, it's fucking good.
It is.
Yeah. In that video, what is it? The video that he does. That Max Landis wrestling video. I can't remember what it's called. It's fantastic, though. It's the one where it's Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Wrestling is fake, I think is what the name of the video is called.
And they reenact everything with all the girls. It's a great video.
They get a hot babe to do Triple H.
They get hot babes to play all of them.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
And then the guy, the one that plays China is the guy from that Star Wars game, Star Wars Unleashed. He plays China.
Oh, no shit.
Really?
Yeah. It's great. It's good stuff. But yeah,
we doing Silver Bullet today.
Era.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Silver Bullet. Cheers.
Clank, clank.
I've got an A&W cream soda.
Yes, he does.
Not a sponsor of the show, but definitely should be.
But while we are talking about that, we probably should also mention. We should also probably mention the Wooden Nickel, which is the unofficial bar of sports program, and because I am on that show, that means they are also the official unofficial bar of this show as well. Also, too.
They've got real nice hoodies. Get one.
They do have good.
And despite the name, it's not a terrible spot.
No, it's a nice little bar. I like that little place. Actually, I like the new location more. It's nicer in there. And if you're in Idaho and you don't care about anything ever, including diseases, you can actually still go in there, and because there is so much space in the bar, you can stand 6 feet apart from people inside the bar. If you go in there and it's crowded, don't go in. I'm not telling you to go into crowded places and get sick, but I am saying if you go in there and you're like, hey, I can stand 6 feet away from that guy right there, and that guy right here, and this gal right here, and have a good time, then fucking do it. By all means, do it. But
get a beer and
get a beer and stand 6 feet away from people. It's fine. The tables are actually, in a sweatshirt, and the tables are far enough. They're actually, I think even prior to COVID, I think the tables are about 6 foot radius from each other. Yeah. So it's like Brian knew it was coming, but not on purpose.
It's Coors Light.
And it's a great spot in there, though. It is a good spot. Also joining us in the comments is Danky King. Got to do a little shout out to our friend who's like an honorary member of the show and has actually been on the show, but also is like an honorary member of the show because he comments. And if you comment, you can be an honorary member too.
Yeah.
And before we jump into anything wrestling related, notice that Dkatz and I are both wearing our Mariners hats because baseball is back on July 1st, so they say. So they say.
Hot dogs are back on the menu.
This time, Ibanez isn't going to get tuberculosis. He's going to get COVID-19.
Also, you can't go to those games. You can only watch them on TV. So a lot of the fun is taken out of it for you. But at least it's here.
I feel like baseball would do better without a crowd than wrestling does.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, and they also, we'll talk about this on Saturday when I do sports program, but they also talk about how a lot of those stadiums have to operate at 50% less. When they get fans back, they have to go at 50% less. But if you are a baseball fan and you go to any games, you will already know that baseball already kind of operates at 50% capacity anyways. Because it is a dying sport. But it's still fun, and I can't wait for it to be back.
It's better than nothing, man.
Yeah, that's the real truth of it. But you know what? This entire time that we have had nothing, the four of us know, and the people in our chat group know, there has been something. There's actually been a lot of somethings. Because WWE, AEW, Impact, Ring of Honor, all of those are still operating. No fans, but they're still rolling. Until now? Question mark?
Yeah, WWE got hit with the COVID.
So, yeah.
So did AEW, didn't they?
And what a
By
great
proxy, yeah.
What a great segue I just did there. So yeah, they just did some testing, and 10 members of the WWE roster have tested positive for COVID-19. One of those being Renee Young, who, as a lot of people might know, that is, I think I don't know if they're married, but she's with, it was Dean Ambrose, but now it's Jon Moxley. I think they are actually married. I can't remember. Are they married? Yeah. So if she has it, I can't imagine a realm in which he wouldn't.
He tested negative.
Is this for sure?
Today he tested negative. It's not like he's not going to get it.
Yeah, and I guess, yeah, Jess, there's a good point. I mean, if he's been with AEW and he's been quarantining away from her, I can see it. Still, that's scary in the wrestling world because we don't want that to go away.
None of them are going to die. Not one of them.
None of them are gonna die. It's just my worry would be like, okay, they're testing positive. We're gonna have to kill this thing now. Which that would really actually mean there is nothing now.
Well, I was really kind of hoping that we'd finally be able to get the strap off of John Boring Moxley.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Well, and really, the people that you wanted to get COVID, all the what do they call it? Is it stepping up? Speaking out.
Oh, there's the speaking out thing too. That's the name of our show this way. It's Speaking Outbreak.
Speaking Outbreak, yeah. That was.
I'm a clever little guy.
Maybe the most clever show title.
So explain this speaking out thing to me.
So I don't know. So speaking out is the new. It's a hashtag. It's the new Me Too. So they were doing like, hey, this guy fucking, jerked off in front of me, hashtag Me Too. Well, they're doing a new thing now where it's all wrestling people, and women are tweeting about stuff, and then hashtagging
women.
Right.
Not just women. Yeah.
There was a man that was raped. A girl roofied him. I can't remember what his name is because I really don't care. But they're doing hashtag speaking out. All these guys are getting hit now.
Sammy Guevara.
Sammy Guevara. And most of them have been WWE guys, though.
Right.
A lot of them. One of them being Matt Riddle.
That makes sense.
A lot have been NXT.
That's obvious.
Guys, which is the real shocker. Like,
no, don't you feel like? I think the shocker is for me that it is young guys, because you feel like a lot of them are coming for I feel like a lot of them would be older, because that's like the whole thing with like the Me Too thing, right? Is that a lot of them was like, hey, this has been going on for 30 fucking years, and we're speaking out about it. But like the fact that it's a lot of younger guys is kind of surprising. But then when you look at each guy case by case, a few of them you're like, yeah, like Matt Riddle.
Matt Riddle is such a shoe-in for that. I mean,
he
think
seems
about
like a
it.
Creep.
Who on the NXT roster has sent the most dick pics? Matt Riddle. Probably.
Well, and he's got the whole bro thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like a dude who shares his dick with people who don't want to see it.
Yeah. And then there's the guy on AEW who's also been on the indie circuit, though. The guy, I can't remember, the Ryan, whatever, the dick
Grimes,
guy.
something?
Yeah, the one that, like, they grab his dick and he does, like, his wrestling moves.
Yes.
It's very centric around his own dick.
His dingus, yeah.
Joey Ryan.
Joey Ryan.
Joey Ryan.
He's actually been on Impact recently.
Sure.
He's been on Impact for a while.
He seems to be putting up Bill Cosby level numbers, too.
Yeah.
He's got like 15 or 16 accusers last I saw.
He has a whole gimmick centered around his dick. I mean, it makes sense.
I think I saw Drake Maverick's name on the R-word list.
Was it?
The rape list. I think I saw it. Was it Chris that shared
there was
the
a
list?
there was a whole list, and it was in our chat, and I tried going back to find all of them because there was the one guy, the Jack Gallagher. He was one of them.
The mustache guy.
Gentleman Jack.
Yep. Not that much of a gentleman.
Jack Gallagher.
What an ironic name. But all these guys, like, man.
Gentleman, he's forcing his thumb in people's buttholes.
Yeah.
Oops.
So, not a great week for wrestling. You got the COVID outbreak. You got these guys. There's been some positive though. I think Drew McIntyre sent out a tweet basically saying like, "Hey, we're listening. We've heard. We're hearing what you're saying. Like, keep speaking out." Basically, like they're the ones that are not guilty of doing that stuff. Basically.
Maybe.
Make sure your house is clean, friends.
And then it's because it was Keith Lee that was the guy that got roofied.
Yeah,
North
it was
American
Keith Lee, yeah.
In NXT. So just showing like, hey, it's not necessarily
Dude,
there's no way that was a roofie either. That had to be like a mild sedative, like
that was like a rhino tranquilizer.
That was like a rhino trank to put that guy down. Someone had to. This is not funny. It's not funny.
He's stumbling in the ring like, "Hey Keith, you got a fucking dart in your neck, man."
Someone had a fucking blowgun him, like. I
don't know how you take that guy down.
He's just like a stumbling bull, just like. That's so bad. That's not funny.
I'm sorry.
He's a big dude. It's not. He's a big dude. They had to use.
How does that even happen?
Fun of what happened. It's
not. No, I'm not making fun of what happened. I'm making fun of how big. They had to use a fistful of roofies to get that guy down. That's all my point is. Like, they made him a milkshake full of it, like, to put his ass down because that's a big dude.
It was powdered Rohypnol instead of powdered milk in there. Just 2 scoops of raisins this time.
Jesus, man, that guy's big. Yeah. But no, but he's kind of like the. Don't you feel like he's kind of like the Terry Crews of it, though? You know,
yeah,
like when all
I was
those
just
like
about to say that.
When all those women are speaking out, then you got Terry Crews is like, "Oh yeah, hey, by the way, I was sexually assaulted too." You know, so it's fucked up. I mean, it's. I think right now, if you're going into wrestling, I think in general, if you're going in show business, you probably should be a good person, and if you weren't a good person, you better wait.
Yeah, you're gonna get in deep shit.
Something's coming out.
Famous.
Yeah. You better make sure your house is clean because it's not a good time for you. And I'm not saying it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a good time for you. If you fucked up, you fucked up.
It should have never been a good time.
No. Yeah. And there's been so many things in the past. I mean, that's why they've had to fire certain people. I mean, that's why there isn't a Hugh Morris working for WWE anymore. I mean, he's one of the ones back in he got in trouble a few years ago. You know, we've had our one. I guess that's the thing is like we had these ones get in trouble in the past, and now it's the younger guys, and that's the part that's shocking.
And there's a lot of them that got a pass. Look at Flair.
Yeah.
You know, Flair constantly was waggling his dick at people, which he didn't. I never got that. Like, why did you go after those flight attendants on that flight
Yeah.
when you are this super famous dude who always gets tail, you know?
Well, I think there is a part of it that is like, I think there is a part of it that's like, look what I can do. I'm so famous. Look what I can do.
Yeah.
Like, look what I can do and look what I can get away with. And then I do think a lot of it is, I mean, I've heard a lot of women talk about it. A lot of it is like power. It's like a,
Right.
it's a, you know, it makes them feel powerful.
The same thing as like the old Trump grab him by the pussy. Like, he can do it because he has the power. That's kind of that.
I don't know. I always thought that sounded like a dude who could never get any without having money. Talking about
his sounded more like a.
You do that. That was one of the floats that wasn't real.
Yeah, yeah. His sounded more like a guy who is bragging about something that never happened because he is like a fucking loser.
Yeah, no, I totally raped that chick. No, I'm cool.
I did it. It was awesome, guys.
Yes, I totally I grabbed her by the pussy.
Those were like bags of sand.
It was like a bag of sand.
All right. This week on Raw, did any of you guys watch Raw this week?
Yep.
Does somebody want to take over? I actually I read the review of Raw. I read the ups and downs on What Culture from Raw this week. I did not watch it.
Hi, I'm the bald guy, and we're here to do some funny faces.
I like that guy, Simon Miller.
He's so easy to make fun of, though.
Dude, that guy's jacked, though.
He is. He should be a wrestler.
He is a wrestler.
In UK?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, what's going on in the UK? The Nanny Poopy Wrestling Federation?
Well, he was a part of... They had their own thing. What Culture had their own thing for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he did wrestling with them. I don't know. I don't think it's a thing anymore, though. No.
Is there any footage on YouTube or anything?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm going to check that out.
He wears a singlet that says why with a question mark, because the why, that's why, fucking his thing.
I get you.
He's a lovable giant, though.
Well, sure.
So what happened on Raw this week, though? Anything notable?
I would say the big notable is Jax injuring another person. This time not for real, hopefully. Considering how many times she does it actually. But taking Charlotte off TV for a little while.
Yep.
So.
Right.
Kayfabe, it's a collarbone, I think, but just giving her some time.
Mm.
Yeah. So I don't like it when they work the injuries into the storyline now too. For Nia Jax especially, it's like that's.
Well, just let her go. At this point,
yeah. Are you trying to? Are you trying to make us hate her more because we already do.
I think it's almost like they're trying to muddy the waters where we're just questioning, like, wait, is this one real now or is this one story? Yeah. Like, which sucks because all the ones that she's done that are real, it almost negates them where they're like, oh, she injured another one.
Yeah.
But
did it happen? Did it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just let her go.
The other big thing I would say would be Big Show coming back for another ride with Randy.
Yep.
I like it in the sense like he's in fantastic shape compared to what he's been in the past, but he's just so big and so slow that like getting somebody like Christian who can still potentially move, although he's not gonna do a wrestling. If you can find a legend that can actually move a little bit more, I would have gone down that range. Even bringing back like a Kurt Angle, because we know that he's not in a position where he'll die if he gets in a wrestling match, but he can still go a little bit. Big Show, I feel like, is going to be they're setting up trying to make this a big angry giant, and it's going to be the typical Big Show match where he'll look dominant for a while and then get chopped down and punted in the end.
Yep. I mean, I love to see Big Show back. He looks great. But
it's another one of those too where he flips so much because the week before he was with the Viking prophets and he was all smiles, and then he comes this week and he's, no, I can be a pissed off giant too. And it's like, so next week, is he going to turn a heel and join Randy? And then maybe the week after that, he'll flip back face. Who knows? I don't know.
And it's like they when he was in it before, he would switch every single week, and it's like as soon as he's back again, they just do it again, like you know, he would switch from heel to face every single week.
Yeah.
And then they bring it back, and that's just what he does again. Like, oh, cool.
Thanks, bro.
Dumb.
Well, and then it's funny because in NXT, they're almost doing a similar thing with the Breezango, where they're jokes and smiles, and then they're like, oh, we can turn it on in the ring. So they almost are just borrowing from that and saying, oh, I can be lovable and friendly, and then I can be pissed off too. Like, no, you can't. You're a big softy, Big Show. Like, we know.
Yep. It's weird. So, so apart from those, the only thing I've really, this actually wasn't on Raw, I don't think. I think it was on SmackDown. But I don't know if you guys saw Bray Wyatt with Bray Wyatt, and he's in that feud with Braun Strowman.
Bro.
And they did that promo where Bray Wyatt was old Bray Wyatt. Where he was wearing his old ring gear and stuff and talking like old Bray Wyatt. And it was like a callback to when, Braun Strowman got his start as a member of the Wyatt family. And I really liked that. I thought that was really clever. I actually still, to this day, I liked that version of Bray Wyatt. I did not dislike that. They killed his heat because they made him lose in like 10 pay-per-views in a row. But I liked that whole gimmick. So I don't want him to go back to it because I feel like the Firefly Funhouse stuff works more now. But I love the idea of playing with the past and letting him, even almost like Broken Matt Hardy, kind of drift in between the three characters. I would actually be really okay with. Like, let's fuck with the timeline. Let's make him Bray Wyatt, the sinister Wyatt family Bray Wyatt, or let's make him the scary Fiend, or let's make him the Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt. Let's mess with all three of them. Why not? Yeah. So I thought it was cool. I actually really liked it. Plus
as long as they don't bring back Husky Harris.
No.
Don't go too far back.
I was gonna say I do. Plus, I just love the idea of them messing with the timeline. Plus, it was a really good promo. I mean, it was vintage Bray Wyatt. It's so easy to remember how good he was in that gimmick as like a weird like helter-skelter like cult leader. It was like, man, this is good, man. He's so good on the mic. Why is he not the biggest fucking star? Because he's so good on that mic. And he's great in the ring, too. I think he's awesome in the ring. I like his moveset. He's a big guy. He's kind of scary.
And he's
him and Kevin Owens should be at the top right now, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to Universal. Yeah, I feel like Braun Strowman has it for a nonsensical reason.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Chris?
Oh yeah, I think they're both fantastic, and Wyatt's the absolute best, I think, right now.
Yeah.
And he's definitely like a future Hall of Famer. I know you hear that a lot, and it really doesn't matter. But like, there's a lot of people who are in the
good point.
The seamlessly had multiple personalities.
Good point.
Mankind
Great point.
Is fantastic.
Let him play with him. And Bray could pull that off like Mick Foley could. He absolutely could pull that off. In fact, I let's not bring back Husky Harris, but also let's do a Wyndham Rotundo thing.
Yeah.
Let's let him be himself too, where we see the real version of him, where he's a dad and he has an Instagram.
Yeah.
And he's just a dude, and his dad is a famous wrestler, and his brother is Bo Dallas. You know, let's see like that too. But then also
Drinking
let's
a beer
see
on
these
the porch.
three. Yeah, then let's see these three weird characters too. I'd be fine with that. You know, and we've seen stuff repeat that's worked, right? Like, I mean, like, the Authority's storyline ran its course, and it was way too long, but it worked for a while.
Yeah.
When it came back. Like, when we had, like, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon are, like, the bad guys, and then you got Daniel Bryan, and there's a couple other... We CM Punk for a little bit, and... So it did work for a little while. I just think WWE has a tendency to take stuff and go, like, this is real good shit, and then just run it into the ground really quick.
Yeah, they waste a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Well,
so I don't know.
Not stealing from the worst feuds. No spoilers there, but at least if he's doing it, he's not ripping off anything.
Yeah. Because not a one of those characters is like Cactus Jack or Dude Love.
No.
But
right.
He's rocking it.
And they were all his characters that he had too, which is cool.
Why not? While we're at it, Derek, why not? Let's see future Bray Wyatt. Like maybe he's like his gimmick is like the bearded lady at the circus show. I want to see. I want to see a
new one in there too.
The bearded lady in a dress, like.
Well, you know, and they like to pull. They do like to pull from like pop culture, right? So we do have Bill and Ted coming out. Why don't we have a future Bray Wyatt where he has this match of the in the storyline he has this match of the year that unites everyone, and he's still trying to have that match.
I had to be the Fiend.
Be excellent to each other.
I wonder if they could do maybe it's a pay-per-view, maybe it's a Raw, whatever. But they have one where he wrestles every match as a different character. Yeah. I wonder if he could go 2 hours.
Oh, I bet he could.
Oh, shit. I bet he could.
I bet he could, especially if you had him go as the Fiend where he just doesn't take any bumps or doesn't really do, you know.
Yeah.
It's a squash match. Yeah. Squash somebody.
Right now where they're pre-taping everything, he doesn't have to do it.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Good call.
Yeah. That would actually be a lot of fun. Actually, although it is one of the worst Royal Rumbles that's ever happened which was the 40-man Royal Rumble. I did love when Mick Foley entered the Royal Rumble as all three characters, which was really cool. That was actually the only part of that Royal Rumble that's actually good, because that's a really bad Royal Rumble. It's like 40-man Royal Rumble. One of them's fucking. One of them's the King. One of them is Michael Cole. One of them is JBL. That's 3 wastes right there. 3 of them are Mick Foley. Like, fuck you.
You're one dude.
You added. Technically, now you've added 9 additional people.
Yeah.
Because Mick Foley did it 3 times.
Because one dude was 3 people.
Right. And you added 3 of the announced team, and JBL was eliminated in like 1 second. So
he's a big fucking baby.
Because he's a big baby. Let's calm down a little bit.
Old, LWF, we had a Rumble style match where there was only 4 of us there that day, 5 of us there, and I think we ended up using 12 characters for the Rumble.
We all had masks and.
Oh. Yeah. So something else on Raw that was good before we move on to anything else. Man, the Street Profits and the Vikings are so good, and I love it. I didn't like what they had at the pay-per-view. I didn't like Backlash. It was not my favorite, but they actually had a clean match on Raw. It was good, and then at the end of the match, the Profits won clean, and it was a good ending to the match. And the Vikings kind of did the respect thing, and it was like the end of this saga basically, which is too bad, by the way, because you could have given them a real rivalry that could have been pretty cool, probably, which is fine. But then Andrade and then his guy came out and beat him up, and then the Vikings helped defend him and stuff. It was whatever, but it was still it was the starting of the new thing. It's like Selena Vega's stable, you know, and it'll be them against the Street Profits. I like that too. I like the prospect of seeing that tag team match. I just feel like they kind of did the Viking Raider guys, like, kind of did them dirty though. Like, where do they go now? Like, if you're gonna have the primetime players against not the primetime players,
Profits.
That's I said something different. Primetime players was something way different. Street Profits. The primetime players were not those two people. Similar gimmick, somewhat. Who was it? It was Titus O'Neil and I can't remember the other guy's name. Darren whatever.
Darren Young.
Darren Young. Yeah.
Darren Young. Yeah.
I actually really like them because I like Titus O'Neil a lot. Is Titus O'Neil the big? Is he the ninja? Is Titus O'Neil the big?
I thought it was Shaq.
Yeah.
He's too skinny to be Shaq.
Yeah. I couldn't see if his eyes were crossed. If they'd shown his eyes crossed, I'd be like, it's fucking Shaq.
Let him talk. And he's like, hey, I like EDM. I like EDM a lot. I feel like it's Titus O'Neil. I actually like Titus O'Neil a lot because he's he's actually a genuinely good dude. So it's hard to not like the guy. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't like the ninja stuff though. I think it's first off, it's super dated. Like, oh, they're Asian. Let's make them ninjas. Like,
yeah, it's like covert racism.
Like, I don't know about that. I don't know about any of that. Plus, that's stupid. Why would there be ninjas? That's stupid.
Dude, because we're all millennials and we fucking grew up on ninjas, and some of us are missing some ninja action.
Did they watch Bruce Lee Be Water 30 for 30 and then they're like ninjas, like fucking dumb.
Yeah, ninjas, man.
Stupid.
They got stuck on Kai and Tai on the network, and we're like, yeah, Kai and Tai, that was good. Let's bring that back.
Yeah, cool.
Choppy.
So I think that's
Cut
all
off
I got.
Malvina's penis.
That's all I got for Raw. Anything else?
For Raw?
Yeah. AEW was good. It was just setting up for Fyter Fest. Everything was just setting up for Fyter Fest. I think it'll genuinely be a fun pay-per-view. I like that it's free. It's 2 weeks in a row. It's taking the place of Dynamite. I think the card's great. I can't wait to actually see... Zach Swan says, why would there be Vikings? Touche. But here's the thing, Zach, is we know they're not real Vikings because their horns on their fucking helmets are like Wolverine's claws in X-Men 1. They they finally got rid of those masks. They got rid of those helmets. With the horns that are like wobbling when they're walking through. Like, stop it. Quit going to the Halloween store. They should turn
them from Vikings to like bootlicking Second Amendment fucking...
They already did it.
Like, they already did that? Like,
with Jack Swagger.
Swagger?
And it was lame.
If they really wanted to do that, they could just use the stupid Forgotten Sons, because
that's true.
The one guy already came out and was...
They're talking about breaking that up now.
Yeah.
AEW I thought it was really good though. It wasn't really good. It wasn't a really good like show, like necessarily as good as they are normally on Wednesday nights. It was a good go home show before a pay-per-view basically. But man, Fyter Fest is going to be great. Zach says
I'm super excited.
Night 1 is that's also true. Night 1 is a lot better. It's really, I think both are really stacked.
Do you think we'll still see Moxley versus Big Boy? What's his name?
I don't know, and I don't care. That's the match I care. That's what I was going to talk about. It's the one I care least about. They have got to get that fucking belt off Moxley. I do not think he is the future of that. And I agree totally. But I don't know if the guy he's fighting is the guy to put it on either. But I don't care. Get it off Moxley. I do not care.
That's kind of where I'm sitting at it, Derek, is that I feel like I don't really care who's the fucking champion. I just want Twitchy McStifffuck out of the picture.
Yeah, me too. I would like to see So for AEW, I mean, you have the tag team division is stacked, and it's a really good division. But then you got the belt on a couple guys who are not tag team. They're not a tag team. Yeah. It's Adam Page and Omega, and those guys should be either going for the TNT title or should be going for the big belt. Like, there's no reason why they should be a tag team when you have that many other tag teams there. And I don't care who the tag team is, but put it on a tag team. Put it on an actual team of people.
I think the best friends would be a great choice. They're already the number one contenders. Just let them have it. Yeah. And then we can have the Young Bucks and the best friends. We can have Jurassic Express.
And then I've seen
FTR.
Best Friends and Young Bucks, I think, have done a match. I think it was good. That would be a good rivalry. I think Best Friends and FTR would be good. Let's get them off Omega and Page. I think we've already seen them. Yeah. Like, they're going to break up.
That's feel not like going to be a thing. Problem throughout wrestling history, putting the belts on people who aren't a tag team before they get the belt. I think it's just a bad call, and they've always done it.
Yeah.
This is a fair assessment.
Like when Triple H and Stone Cold became the two-man power trip.
Yeah.
It just wasn't necessary. The only time the only time it's really worked out, I think, is the Rock and Sock connection. Like that's a time-tested, gonna last forever tag team.
Zach's got a good
count on those two.
Setting up for Best Friends and FTR, I would like to see it. It'd be fun to watch.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good rivalry. I think, I like it. But it's also two actual tag teams who they have a whole thing. There's a whole thing there. I mean, it's not just two guys.
My favorites on the show, personally, are Frankie Kazarian and what's his name?
Christopher Daniels.
Christopher Daniels.
SCU.
Yeah, dude, I love those guys.
So do I.
All three of them. Like, so that's exciting that even the guys down the card, would be great.
Well, and then the Jurassic Express or whatever, like, I like that. There's a lot of what are the Santana guys or whatever, like the
Pride and Power.
Yeah, those guys are awesome.
Death Triangle whenever COVID ends, where you can bring back Pentagon and Phoenix.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of really good. I mean, even they kind of hinted toward it last night. Even Colt Cabana and Brody Lee.
Yeah, it was okay.
It was good. Dude, that freaking Sunny Kiss or whatever.
Oh man, I love him.
It made me laugh. So, dude, when Sunny Kiss bitch slapped Brody Lee, I marked so hard and laughed so hard. Just if you listen to Sunny Kiss when he wrestles, he does like John Leguizamo / Wesley Snipes on Tu Wong Fu. Like, when he does moves and stuff, he'll go like, ah! It fucking is hilarious.
Oh,
it's so good.
Fifth Element. Chris Tucker on the Fifth Element.
He does this.
It's so great.
The guy's moveset's also fantastic. Like, the guy is
such an athlete, man.
But the stuff he does in that gimmick of just being outwardly gay, just being like, I
fucking love it.
Who he is, that's just.
I'm a huge fan.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that
dude,
booty though. Hard to not look. Hard to not look.
It's something else.
It's hard to not look. It's hard to not. Zach was texting me and he said, "Man, I hope this doesn't awaken something in me." Very good.
That has to be fat for real.
It's good. I mean, but I love the gimmick. I think it's super fun. It's funny. Like I said, Brody Lee's doing all this moveset, and that dude fucking bitch slaps him, and it's so funny. Is it
Joey Janela who was with?
Joey Janela, yeah.
So I hated him until that vignette he did with Sunny Kiss.
Yeah.
When they did that parking lot kind of like a joke on WWE, I was like, okay, I'm in. I'm totally in. I get it.
Yeah.
He's a greasy dirtbag
Yeah,
and
it was good,
and it's fucking great.
And then who did they allude after that match last night? I watched it today. I just watched it today. After that match, they alluded to something else too for Janela, and who came out. It was another tag team came out. And,
and they trounced him.
Yeah, who was that? That was oh my god! I just watched it today.
I just watched it today too. I can't.
And
remember.
it led into it. It led into what looked like could be a cool storyline, though.
Well, they announced the match. It was going to be Joey Janela versus whoever. Like, God
damn it! I can't remember who it is.
I can't remember. Fuck me. Well, anyway,
it's going to be cool. Right after the match, though. Yeah, they got attacked right after the match, though.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I just watched it today, but I mean, it was something that I was like, oh, this could be cool.
Yeah, yeah. So Fyter Fest will have a Joey Janela match with whoever interfered.
Whoever attacked them, I can't remember.
Yeah,
and then finally, one of the highlights I thought of last night was just the Orange Cassidy and Jericho rivalry. I think it's going to be fun. I liked seeing Orange Cassidy finally. He gets his sunglasses broken, so he attacks Jericho, and it's like, this could be a good match. It's great. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a cool match.
I've watched a couple of Orange Cassidy things this week, and I totally understand why you dig it. Like, yeah, I don't know, if you can rise above that shit, like his hands in his pockets and stuff. It's not bad. I get it.
I went back and watched
some of that stuff.
The Pac match and from All In, I think it was.
And seeing Pac play into it and work with him. First off, those two guys together had a fantastic chemistry in the first place. Just seeing Pac play into it was really cool. I think Jericho was going to do the same thing. I think it's going to be a really good time. I love the only thing that's a shame for having Orange Cassidy in the ring is that you don't have the audience, because it's one of those things that's better with a crowd full of people, because when he does those little kicks, the crowd freaks the fuck out when he does those little kicks. Like, oh! Like, it's not even like, oh, like, the crowd's like, oh! Like it's the most disgusting, devastating kick they've ever seen in their life. And it works so well. It's fun.
And then when he puts his hands in his pockets, and the crowd's like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit.
The first time I saw him was when AEW first started the TV deal, and they did the Battle Royal, and he was in the ring, and he did those. I think that was the first time him and Pac were together, and it was before their big match. So they did Riz Nation. Randy is so anti AEW. Orange Cassidy equals ratings win for NXT.
He sent that shit to me earlier. Like,
there's 100,000 people more, dude. Like, it's not a huge win.
No, he's actually. We've been playing SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 GM mode over the internet together. He has this thing where I can play the game on his computer from my computer.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
it's actually really fun, and he's actually really into the whole brand competition shit. So I think he's just excited that it's happening in the first place, to be honest with you.
Well, and so am I, especially since it looks like it's fine. I know I've said this before, but it is finally starting to look like WWE's ending the brand split. I mean, it really does look like SmackDown and Raw are going to be... It looks like... It feels like they're killing it. Everybody's just jumping from show to show. Nobody cares.
Well,
Charlotte's on everything.
I've got a list. I have a list of reasons why they're going to get rid of the brand split.
Well, and the number one reason though should be it's ran its course.
Absolutely, especially in these times. These times we are living in. But this is the list of reasons why they're getting rid of the brand split. Aiden English, Kurt Hawkins, Drake Maverick, EC3, Epico, Eric Young, Heath Slater, Carl Anderson, Kurt Angle, Leo Rush, Luke Gallows, Maria Kanellis, Mike Chioda, Mike Kanellis, No Way Jose, Primo, Eric Roman, Rusev, Sarah Logan, Zack Ryder, Billy
list
Kidman.
of people.
Yeah, of all the people
fired.
that they fired.
Yep.
And it's a huge list. I mean, Davari, the Hurricane, Scott Armstrong, Sarah Stock, Pat Buck, Mike Rotunda, Lance Storm, Dave Finley, Billy Kidman. Huge list, man. Like, they're cutting the chaff right now. Like,
right.
So I agree with you, Derek. I think it's over. Yeah. And the writing's on the wall.
And it does, and that's true, Randy. We don't talk about NXT near enough on this show, and I actually do. And of all of the stuff WWE is doing, that's the goddamn shame of it, though. Is that NXT and AEW are on the same night, and I already watch AEW the next day. When do I watch NXT?
Yeah, I really like NXT UK. I think it's a great show. I love it. I love that show. I do really like NXT.
So do I. I do.
I think Adam Cole is great. I like that. Who's that? Randy, who's that one guy? Who's that one guy who's got the cool mustache and the sunglasses and the
Jack Gallagher. He's gone.
No, not Jack Gallagher. He's joking. Like got the sunglasses and the what the heck? He wears like tan pants and he wears the gloves.
Oh, you're thinking Dexter Loomis?
Yeah, Loomis. He's fucking awesome.
Sunglasses. Yeah. He doesn't wear sunglasses because he's always got the stare. He's got the icy
stare. It's the stare. He doesn't wear his sunglasses.
By the way, Velveteen Dream was one of those ones that got called out too, which is really too bad because I thought he was going to be the next big. He's a really good heel.
He should be the world's champion. You know, he's incredible.
He's in trouble.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Once people start getting charged and convicted, I'll start hating on him. But
no, I'm not hating on anyone. I'm just saying, like, it's a shame because that dude should have on the main roster a couple months ago, for one thing.
Oh,
I think
Riz
the
Nation
big thing right now, though, is that they haven't been charged or anything, but we're just trying to take it seriously at this point because so many times people say something and it's like, oh no, nobody cares, nobody tries to dig in, and
I think they're just
under the rug. And
I think right now they're just, and I think right now they've been suspended. That's it. I think they're suspended and they're doing kind of what the NFL does. Like, they'll suspend a player and then they try to do their own investigation. That's probably what they're trying to do. Kind of interesting that you never hear about, like, does the WWE have, like, a Title IX coordinator? You know, like, do they have, like, in college, like colleges have, like, a Title IX person? Like, my workplace has a Title IX person who's, like, that's literally what they do is just investigate. Like, they're like the SVU of colleges.
I bet they probably just have private investigators if they even bother to go that far.
They should probably consider just bringing in, like, a person to be like, well, this is your job now, is to vet people and fucking make sure, and then investigate stuff like this when it comes down the line. Yeah,
because every pro team, that's before the draft, you know that they're digging into everything, every Twitter post, every picture that's been shared on Facebook, they dig into. That's why Laramie Tunsil had that gas mask picture and drops so far when he was drafted. Like, they just have every team has people.
I mean, how is the Sammy Guevara thing not brought to light, for Christ's sake?
Yeah,
dude. And when I heard, have you guys heard the clip? Of him on the podcast?
No.
You're like, even like, I don't care if it was done. When did he do it? Like 5-6 years ago?
Yeah, I think it was.
I don't care how. Yeah, I don't care how long ago it was. You hear that, even if it was me then, and I heard that, I've been like, "Whoa, dude! Like, what the fuck?"
I mean, then again, he is like 21 right now, so 5 years ago he was still a minor, for Christ's sake. I mean, it's, I don't know.
And nobody who is 12 to 18 should have to deal with the stupid shit that they do for the rest of their life. Because if that's true, I'm fucked. Fucking put me on the electric chair.
Chris and I have talked about this quite a bit, actually. It's like we are very lucky that social media did not exist prior to either one of us becoming an adult human being.
I've done some stupid shit here.
Well, just the way I talk on the internet in general. Like, I have a very separate from my real life internet persona. And it just... It's a good thing young me wasn't typing things
Same here.
to the ether.
Well, let's move it on. Let's do our top fives.
Let's do
our top fives. Yeah, let's go ahead and yes, you volunteered. I love it. You volunteered tribute. This Hogan is, by the way, this is top 5 worst feuds. Sorry,
worst feuds ever.
Worst feuds, or at least our least favorite feuds. Hogan Warrior. Oh yeah,
forever. Every bit of Hogan Warrior, from WrestleMania 6 all the way to the abortion that was their WCW rivalry.
Number 2, it was so bad.
The second one was so worse.
It was a stillbirth for sure. It was just not even, like, just right into the toilet. Like,
it was wrong. The whole thing. And, like, I don't know which Warrior showed up to that, but I'm pretty sure he already hated the game. He'd already shifted over to his hatred. Next up is Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler. Lawler's always kind of been a scuzzball.
Yeah.
And Michael Cole is, as Dusty would say, a bootlicker of probably the highest caliber. And it just happens to be Vince McMahon's
Ben Shapiro. I think Ben Shapiro is like the queen of bootlicking.
Yeah, and Michael Cole is his king.
Yeah, there you go.
You could do a food pyramid of those, and it'd be Ben, and then like Michael Cole's right there. Like
he's right
Jordan Peterson. Yeah, Jordan Peterson and Michael Cole like at his feet. Like,
I really wish we had somebody who did graphics for us, because now I want that to be made.
Make me a food pyramid, please.
All right. No, that's a terrible rivalry though. And that's during Cole's heel play-by-play too, which I've talked about on this show. Is my least favorite time of wrestling history.
Maybe one of the worst decisions in all of wrestling.
Your play-by-play cannot be heel. That's ridiculous. That's the worst move ever made.
His like Pope Mobile version of his broadcast booth, so King couldn't get to him. Start to finish, that was just trash.
Yeah, that's bad.
Next up is John Cena and John Laurinaitis.
I forgot about that.
Terrible run that was.
Yeah, that was bad.
Cena, I know that he's always kind of vacillated between being a good guy and being a bad guy. And I hate John Laurinaitis, but Cena was the bad guy in that one.
Oh, that match that they have is disgusting. And
where he's half conscious, sitting in the chair, and Cena's like hitting him with stuff.
Cena's supposed to be the face during that, and it's just not. It doesn't come off right. The whole match doesn't come off. He rubs him, smears him in the JR's barbecue sauce, and oh man, I can't stand that match.
It's just bullying.
I think that made my top 5 worst matches. Actually,
I'm pretty sure it did, and I think that's probably what made me think of it as just a terrible run.
Yeah.
Next, this is kind of because I hate Chavo, but Chavo and Hornswoggle.
You're taking my
shit!
Now.
You're stealing all my shit, man.
Chavo and Hornswoggle was terrible.
Yeah.
In a world full of bad feuds, man. And I really don't like Chavo as a person. He made my worst wrestler list. Not because he's bad in the ring, but because he's not Eddie, and he really thinks he is.
He does.
Yeah, like he had some kind of lineage.
Swoggle versus Chavo was on my top worst match list. So.
Yeah, me too.
Not mine.
and the top is a double big. The Big Show versus the Big Boss Man. Do you remember when he robbed his father's grave? And,
God damn it, that was bad.
It was horrible. And there was, I mean, it's right up there with the Katie Vick thing. Like, what were you thinking? Why did that make it through the Idea fan?
And that was bad that was actually really bad. That was a really bad time period for Big Show too, where they couldn't find a good place for him. You kind of basically realized he got rushed further than, because he had to go back into developmental after that.
Yeah.
To like work on stuff to become a better big guy wrestler, because he wasn't good.
Because nobody trained him.
Right.
They were just like, this dude is giant. We can just put him on TV, and they did, and they gave him the title. Like another WCW fiasco. If he'd had 2 more years in developmental, he would be. I mean, I get that he's one of the biggest names right now of all time, but he could have been something so much more if they would have put him through training before they just pushed him out on television. Like, what was he? Didn't he come out with the NWO?
Yeah.
He was an NWO guy.
But he just kind of fucking showed up. And
yeah,
they're like, oh, look at the giant.
I think he was around before NWO. I think he was actually champ right before.
Yeah, I think you're. Yeah.
Was he? I think I remember that.
Yeah.
Attaboy, Riz Nation. I like it. Big Show riding the casket was the best part of that feud.
Yeah, it was. That was pretty good.
It was, and it was, it was a low point for wrestling.
That's a good list. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next so that no one else steals more of mine. So I'll throw in Chavo Hornswoggle. That was kind of an easy one. And it's like, yeah, Chavo, not the greatest, but the same reasons as I talked about when I talked about being the worst match, like having Hornswoggle go over anyone that's not another little person just doesn't make sense.
Unless there's 10 of them, you shouldn't be having midgets wrestle people. Oh, that came out wrong.
They're little people, Chris.
Yeah, they shouldn't be wrestling normal-sized people.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, they can. They can't. I mean, if they want to, that's freedom.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm sure Hornswoggle could kick my ass.
It's just the same thing as saying, like, hey, let's put in 10-year-old Nicholas versus Braun Strowman. Like, shouldn't do it.
Yeah, no, let's not do that. Adopted son David versus the Make-A-Wish.
Yeah. Let's see. I also I have a couple that are kind of honorable mentions. Glacier versus Mortis back in WCW.
That's his name.
That one was
That's his name. Mortis.
Let's do some Mortal Kombat. Make good choices. That one wasn't so great. Let's see, what do I got? I got 5 here. Yeah, that works out. So NWO versus Red and White versus NWO White and Black.
It just never should have happened.
No, and then it was just kind of obvious that they were coming back together, and so it's why split them up to bring them back together and have fake, for life.
And by then, NWO had already way served its course anyways. It was way overdone.
And it's almost like they were admitting when they split them up, like, hey, we realized that we should have only had 4, 5, maybe 6, and all of a sudden there's 30 people in the NWO. Like, hey, let's split them up, but then they split them up the wrong way.
Yeah.
And it was still 2 factions of 15 people.
Yeah. They should have just said, had the top guys, Nash, Hall, Hogan, say, you know what, we realize, like, we're cutting fat.
Yeah.
And just start booting people.
Sorry, Horace. Bye.
Spirit Squad versus DX.
Oh, shit.
God damn it.
Yeah, that was wicked bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
And what's sad is that some of the Spirit Squad members were really good wrestlers.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate gimmick for most of them to be in, and then just the whole feud was, got crap dumped on them, literal crap, maybe.
It was real shit, and it all came out of X-Pac.
Well, that was also
triggered about
that was
DX
also DX. Like fuck, that was worse DX. That was the worst version of DX too, and I already hate DX. But it was also that was like Christian Shawn Michaels, like poo poo and pee pee. I'm a rebel. You're fucking 50. Fucking God, I hate Shawn Michaels.
I hate him,
but I
too.
love him too. But I hate him.
I hate his
Lashley versus Rusev, bringing it more recent.
That was a really good choice.
I think for the sake of, I just didn't care. Like, nobody cares. We know that Lana and Rusev are married in real life, and they're still married. And so trying to make this whole storyline, and Lashley's married to, I think, Crystal, one of the old divas or whatever. And and then now Rusev's gone, so we don't even get the payoff of...
Zero payoff from that.
It's just...
The only good part about anything with Bobby Lashley are his giant, sweet, floppy titties.
That's true.
Me and Jesse used to call him Booby Lindsley.
Booby Lindsley. Yeah.
Booby Lindsley. Look at those tits. That's good shit.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the things, because I also thought about throwing Hogan Macho in there just for the storyline with, like, taking Miss Elizabeth and things like that. Like, when it just doesn't feel... it doesn't feel good.
That's fucked up, but funny.
That is fucked up, man. Damn.
That's so good. That's bad.
And then finally, and I probably should have finished with a better one, but the whole Dominic storyline with Eddie.
Oh yeah! God damn it! That was a good one. That's an
bad.
honorable mention for mine.
I hated it. Elion Gonzalez type shit with Ray and Eddie and
it just
bullshit.
And it's so bad because Eddie was so good and Ray was so good, and you didn't need to do it. And then they're like, "Hey, let's." It's another one of those where Vince is like, "This is going to be good shit," and no.
Great list. Yeah. A couple of those were at least honorable mentions for me. I'll go ahead and do mine next because I had a bit first. So here's my first top 5 real quick. Just shouting them out real quick. Dolph Ziggler and Otis. Number 4, Dolph Ziggler and Del Rio. Number 3, Dolph Ziggler and John Cena, any of the times. Number 2, Dolph Ziggler and Rusev, hated it. Number 1, Dolph Ziggler versus Daniel Bryan and Kane. Any Dolph Ziggler one, garbage. I just trash.
Anyone could be put in that.
Yeah, terrible. Also, you could throw an honorable mention for that because Dolph Ziggler was a Spirit Squad too, so you can throw Spirit Squad and fucking DX in there too. Trash. Okay, here's my real top 5. My honorable mention for top 5 is the Nexus against John Cena, and it was only because it was ended so badly at Survivor Series, where Nexus just had nothing after that, and it was just
their careers were ruined.
Just a terrible squash, and
like the epitome of buried.
Yeah. It's a shame.
They did Wade Barrett dirty.
Yeah, boy, that was just a nasty. I hated that. Especially when I liked a lot of those guys, man. That was a really bad. And Wade Barrett's one of those guys I really liked. And
Bad News Barrett.
Man, bad. Number 5, Boss Man versus Al Snow. It led to one of the worst matches in WWE history, and
house match or whatever the fuck it's
bad.
called.
That kennel match, blah, bad.
God, I can smell that.
Fed him his dog.
Yeah.
Ray
Trailer did not have a good late career.
Yeah. John Cena versus The Rock 2. I liked it when it was once in a lifetime. Really? Once in a lifetime, and now we're going to do it 2 times? Like, fuck you. I'm not stupid. Come on.
Yeah.
Dumb. I just didn't. I just didn't like. I mean, I like both those guys, and I thought they had a great match at WrestleMania both times. I was just, come on. I don't like it.
Yeah, I get it.
Especially since The Rock had to take the title off of CM Punk to do it, and I thought Punk had such a great heel run, and then he ended up just fighting Undertaker like at the.
It's a shame they didn't let him in the streak.
Yeah. Hardcore.
Better person to give it to.
Yeah. Yes. Hardcore Holly and the Hardcore Championship run. Just anything Hardcore Holly was involved with.
He's my number one. If I was gonna kill one wrestler,
yeah.
Bob Holly. I want to look at him in the eyes as I choke the life out of him. Like I hate that guy.
I hate him. I don't like him either, and I hated the whole. I am actually traditionally have never been a fan of the Hardcore Championship, and I'm not a fan of the 24/7 Championship now. It's just not a thing I like, and it was just never a fun moment for me. And whenever, like during the Attitude Era, when it would cut into those, I'd be like, "Oh, let's get back to it." As a kid, I'd be like, "Let's get back to it." Like I don't care about this.
Yeah.
And his gimmick's stupid. Like Hardcore Holly, like he's the hardcore guy. Like stupid.
I think the worst part about those when they cut into is they're acknowledging, yeah, we know that you don't care about this match. We don't care about this match either.
Yeah,
but we're going to throw the 24/7 champ out there and run through it because nobody really cares.
Yeah, that's too bad. It's filler. It's literally a filler title, and so is the Hardcore Championship, and that's too bad. Sheamus, this is a new one. It's Sheamus and Jeff Hardy. I just don't.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's a wet fart, and I can't stand it. It's bad. I think it's in bad taste. I think it's in bad taste to play on. First off, we've already seen them play with Jeff Hardy's demons and his addiction stuff. We saw it with Punk when he was the straight edge savior, and they did it way better.
Yeah,
and
then they did it back before that with Scott Hall, and just it's not smart. And if late stage WCW did it, you should probably just wipe it off your whiteboard. It was a brainstorming mistake. Just clean it off and move forward.
It feels like a Vince Russo thing, and I don't like it. And my number one is actually it's you guys might think it's interesting. My number one is Kelly and Mickie James. I think Kelly and Mickie James. So first off, Mickie James is an amazing wrestler and will be in the Hall of Fame. I did not like the whole Piggy James thing. I didn't like the whole body shaming thing. Mickie James is the furthest thing from fat, for one thing.
She's a fox. She's a mega fox.
Right. And I have just never been a big...
babe.
She's Robo Babe.
If she were president, she would be Abraham Lincoln.
And French, she would be called Law Renard. And she'd be hunted.
To protect her.
I just have never been a fan of that. The whole body shaming thing with the women's wrestlers. They actually did it again a couple years ago with Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss. And then believe it or not, I couldn't believe this. During that rivalry, Mickie James starts teaming with Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, I remember that.
How am I supposed to forget the past? Why would and secondly, that's what I mean. Like this Kelly and Mickie James, and then Lay Cool and Mickie James. This whole like history with the whole Piggy James thing. Like it runs its course as being horrible. So they did the whole Piggy James thing, and then Alexa Bliss picks on Nia Jax for being fat. Alexa Bliss has a real life, for real, no shit struggle with body image and body dysmorphia to the point of that she's anorexic, and has like struggled with that her whole life. So
how do you say anorexic if you're dyslexic?
That was my bad. But she's for real anorexic. It's great. It's a sad story for her. It was Lay Cool. Yeah. That's right. You're right, Randy. It wasn't Kelly. It might as well have been Kelly though, because they were all trash. But that was the Divas era, and it was garbage.
Lay Cool, man.
It was Lay Cool, yeah.
Man, I didn't even.
Yeah, you're right. It was Lay Cool. It wasn't Kelly. Kelly
is a saint.
But and then they played.
Kelly can fuck off.
And then they played with that whole. So they had the whole Nia Jax thing later on. Mickie James is with Alexa Bliss, body shaming Nia Jax, and I'm like, you were just being called Piggy James like 10 years ago.
There's so many things that they could cut into Nia Jax that are totally supportable.
Right.
Let her go.
Oh yeah, there's plenty
go.
of real reasons to hate her fucking guts.
Right.
Yeah.
And being fat is not one of them. I feel that way about Donald Trump. Like, being fat is not the issue here. People.
No.
Right.
No.
So that's my you're right. That is right, though, Randy. Yeah, my number one is it's Lay Cool and Mickie James, not Kelly. Although I'm thinking back on Kelly, and she had a lot of terrible feuds too. So the whole era of
She
Divas
just
Wrestling
pervaded your mind.
Well,
Oh, man,
yeah,
it was
because
so bad.
because that whole era of Divas Wrestling. What's that?
There was a
Oh,
lot of
I remember that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of good Divas stuff too, but I mean, just while it was called the Divas Championship, was the worst era of women's wrestling. I mean, it was just a lot of body shaming stuff. I mean, people like to pick on the Attitude Era for having like the pudding wrestling and all that crap, but I mean, it was what it was. It was disgusting. Like, man, I mean, it was on Spike. I mean, SmackDown was on Spike, for Christ's sake. Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
TV
Yeah.
for men. Like, stupid. Like,
I had no problem with pudding wrestling. I'll wrestle
Yeah.
with pudding. I don't give a shit.
Protein,
Yeah.
boobies.
but I mean, that's
Meat,
just
beer,
what it was.
boobies.
It's, I guess what I'm saying is that in the Attitude Era, they weren't trying to have like women's wrestling. It was just, it was like he had a hoe train. Like, it wasn't like they were trying to have women's wrestling.
And you look at some of the ladies that were there. Like, Stacy Keibler wasn't a wrestler.
No, but
She was
I
a
don't
valet.
care.
And she was
She
a
can-
fantastic valet.
Yeah.
But she was
Yeah,
not
oh,
a
yeah.
wrestler. And, they
Y'all
stood
remember
on-
that thing she does on the when she crosses that middle road?
Yeah, I remember.
I
remember.
I remember that stuff. All right, Dusty, your turn.
man. Okay. So, my number 5 is Jesus Christ.
That's good.
My number 5 is Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior. All of them.
Every minute of the decade.
Talk about two of the worst workers in the history of the business. My number 4 is Glacier versus Mortis, and thank you for picking that one too, Jesse, because I couldn't remember. I wrote Glacier versus the Reptile copy.
The other guy.
Yeah, but Mortis. And now that I think about it, he had the skull, and it's amazing how Konami didn't try to sue WCW. You know.
Thank you, Zach.
I also have Chavo versus Hornswoggle. What's interesting about it is it's making me realize how glad I am that the Street Profits Viking Raiders thing has come to an end, because Chavo versus Hornswoggle, they did kind of the same stuff. Like, they had I think they did arm wrestling. They had like a tuxedo match. They had all these weird things that they did. But it lasted it feels like it lasted from WrestleMania to WrestleMania.
It was long.
It was way too fucking long. And if they had done it maybe if they did it, maybe if they'd have done it for 3 or 4 weeks, that'd have been fine. I get it. Hornswoggle, haha, funny. But yeah, way too long. This next one, I say it's the worst, but I think a part of me actually really kind of likes it, and I don't know why, but I wouldn't have made the same creative decisions that the WWF made. But it's Vader versus Goldust. But he wasn't Goldust, he was the artist formerly known as Goldust.
Yeah.
And he the ball gag and the titty tassels, and Luna was his Luna Vachon was his he got a divorce from Terry, right?
Did he really, or was that just on screen?
Well, they did actually get a divorce.
Did they?
But I don't know if it was the same timing.
Yeah.
Because she was Terry Runnels for many years.
Yeah.
Many years.
And they still love each other, actually. They're not married now, but they're
not married now. Yeah.
No, but they love each other. they are a part of each other's lives, and like it's actually really cool. Like
they have kids together. They're like that example of like that married couple that gets divorced but still stays cordial, and because they have kids together. But like that life is no life for a marriage.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. Journey said it best. Some say the road ain't no place to raise a family. But yeah, and Vader.
Steve Perry.
Vader is kind of like, like when you're a kid and they teach you about dinosaurs, and they're like, they were massive, but if you look into their skulls, they have a little tiny acorn brain. That's kind of how I feel like Vader was. He was like this big, huge dude, but he's angry all the time because he ain't got no medulla oblongata. Some shit.
He got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
And Goldust is a wunderkind with a shitty gimmick.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work, and you're kind of grossed out by it. And like, I love Luna Vachon. When she gets on the mic, she sounds meaner than a junkyard dog, man. You're like, whoa, holy shit.
Dude, she was a scary. That's a hands down the scariest woman in the world.
Oh yeah,
Abaddon girl we were talking about last time was right up there though.
Oh Probably yeah, Abaddon. Yeah.
She's,
but Luna Vachon is actually had a relationship with Gangrel, whose music we used.
Yeah,
really
today. Yeah, they dated for a long time. I don't know if did they get married. I
don't know, but that would be an ugly bunch of children.
Oh man almighty, they'd all come out looking like Dog the Bounty Hunter and shit.
They would. They'd all have mullets, bleach blonde mullets, and just haggard faces right out of the womb. You have no idea what it's like in there.
So my number one, and I'm surprised this wasn't on all your guys' list as the worst fucking feud in the history of time. But like, it came to me so quickly and so clearly. Like, I'm not quite sure why, but Scott Steiner versus Triple H, when Triple H was the World Heavyweight Champion. Oh, dude, what a fucking steamy turd, man.
I'm sorry.
That was bad.
Oh, crap.
That was one of my worst matches.
It was. It was one of your worst matches.
Really crap match. Really crap build up. And also, another one that lasted too long. I think they did 2 or 3 pay-per-views, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, they did a Backlash, and they did, like, 2 others.
Yeah.
What
so
a
bad.
piece of shit. Yeah.
That was a dumpster fire.
So bad. But yeah, that's my
That's
list.
good. That's a good list.
Should we do Jay?
Yeah.
Should we do wrestling Jay?
we got about 13 minutes left, so.
Before you jump in there, I did think of one other one that was really bad, was the Matt Hardy Edge, when they were fighting over Lita, because Lita had been with Matt Hardy and then cheated with Edge.
Yeah.
I thought about going with that
the porno
too.
that they did on Raw.
Yeah, just gross. But anyway,
that was bad.
I also just anything Vicky Guerrero was involved in. So
God.
Yeah.
When she's first involved with Edge, and then she's involved with Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler.
DZ.
Yeah. Okay, who's wrestler Jay?
So I'm gonna give you the 4 people that I passed over, like the Lord God.
Okay.
John Heidenreich.
Was
the first one.
Heidenreich.
That was my first choice, and I was like, but I can't do it. There's so many better ones. But Heidenreich, Heidenreich would have been a good one to talk about because his career was such a fucking utter failure.
It really was.
One of the few things that Paul Heyman touches that doesn't make it. So the next one was Mark Jindrak. Super boring wrestler.
He's one of those dudes that had everything except that X Factor.
Sure.
There was nothing to grab onto.
A Lance Storm, Chris Benoit kind of a thing going on.
Yeah.
And to a point, maybe the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, kind of was missing that charisma.
And he never shifted gimmicks.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
No,
never.
true.
Yeah. Joey Mercury was the other one that I passed over.
I wondered if you were gonna look at Joey Mercury.
Yeah, and that would
for a while.
Him and John Morrison.
Him and Morrison.
Eminem. Yeah.
Melina and Mercury and Nitro at the time.
Johnny Nitro. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just because his story is pretty tragic, actually. I don't think he's dead or anything, but
but he could have been though.
He could have died. Yeah.
CM Punk is actually one of the ones that helped save his life.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Attaboy Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the final one was Jungle Boy, just because I'm a huge fan, and maybe I would take my time and give it to him, but no. Not enough
there yet to choose Jungle Boy.
Yeah, not enough there. So I went with everyone's favorite black openly bisexual wrestler, Orlando Jordan.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
I figured this was the perfect fit.
That's everybody's reaction is, oh. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And his career was about the same.
Yeah.
So let me pull this up here.
He was. I remember him mostly. From TNA.
He was in JBL's Cabinet.
Yep, he was in JBL's Cabinet.
He was.
I
think that's why I don't like him.
Until he came out of the closet.
He came out of the cabinet.
Came out of the cabinet.
Yeah.
So he actually his training lineage is actually really freaking good. Dan McDevitt, R.J. Carrington, and Rocky Johnson. He had some great teachers.
Yeah.
Which when you watch him work, you can kind of tell. I just think he was goofy looking, or there was something weird about him that you just couldn't get him on. Maybe he didn't have enough charisma. I'm not sure. But he's got the physique. He's just as big as Triple H. He's 6'4", 250, 260, around there. So he's got the build. He's got the look. What's really kind of interesting is that he lives in Melbourne, Australia. Mm-hmm. And he's been doing independent stuff with them in Australia. His athletics or accolades are pretty incredible. He was an amateur wrestler in Virginia. He attended Boise State University after winning the 1993 state championship at 189 pounds for a school in Richmond, Virginia. So he came to our beautiful state to be an amateur wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And he also did amateur boxing in Florida. And he worked for the U.S. Forest Service when he was here in Idaho.
Which is cool.
So that's really cool. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. Also, you did mention this earlier. You almost picked Heidenreich, but if you remember correctly, he beat Heidenreich to retain the U.S. title.
He did. The only title he ever won in the WWE was the U.S. title.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure he started his own company called Wildcat Sports and Entertainment, and did a training center outside of New Orleans. It's not open anymore, but he had his own promotion down there and was doing his school, and it was part of the NWA for a little bit. So.
Well, and this does say that he has another wrestling school in Melbourne, Australia.
Yes.
So he has another school. That's what he's doing now. Is he's teaching.
Yeah, he's teaching in Melbourne and has done a couple of appearances, like I said, in Australia. So he's they say he's retired, but he's kind of still doing his thing. he is openly bisexual.
Yeah.
He likes the BBs and the PPs, which is cool in this day and age.
Yeah. I mean, especially since
it
was probably pretty tough during that time to come out.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's a good deal that he can live his good life, especially in a conservative country like Australia.
Killed the U.S. spinner belt.
Oh, he was the first one to hold the new belt, huh? I didn't know that.
Good for him.
Yeah, he can fuck
I did not know that.
He got rid of the spinner belt.
He got rid of the spinner belt. He's an American hero.
But really, his professional wrestling career, like his accolades, are mostly like indie shit.
This is interesting too. This is actually interesting too. This is on Wikipedia. He was misdiagnosed with autism as a child, and he had speech difficulties and attended classes to overachieve them. I think that's interesting that he was misdiagnosed as autistic.
Right.
It was just speech impediment.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
And I don't remember him ever sounding funny on the mic.
And he must not. He must not have once he got to that point. Must have been when he was younger.
Yeah. Yeah. He overcame that.
Still interesting. Yeah. I mean, I mean, realistically, if you're him, if I'm him, I'm feeling pretty good about my whole career overall. I mean, really, of all the wrestlers, of some of these wrestlers we've chosen for the alphabet, like, I'm feeling pretty good about that career. Really.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fact that he even got to hold a title in WWE, you know.
Yeah, I think
more than I'll ever do.
I think I read somewhere that he was released from the WWE because he was bringing unauthorized people backstage, and they did not like that at all.
Makes sense.
So
this was probably Meltzer. It was probably fucking Dave Meltzer. Gotta hate that guy. I feel like that's a good choice for Jay. I like it. I like that choice for Jay. Yeah. I love it because I thought it was one of the 4 J's. I wonder if it was gonna be Joey Mercury.
Right.
So you threw us another curveball. I need to get better at mine. I gotta get better at mine.
I think Joey Mercury would be a good M for somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, because his story's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's kind of obscure. He's kind of disappeared, in the last time I saw people.
Because the last time I saw Joey Mercury, he was one of Seth Rollins' like bodyguards. Yeah. When he first left the Shield.
They were doing Authority.
Yeah, he was like the Eminem's security or something like that. Yep. Like it was Mercury and somebody else. I didn't even know who it was.
Maven, maybe.
That's what I was gonna say. How can you not do Maven as the M? Come on.
Oh, poor Maven.
Man, fucking poor Maven.
Yeah.
He didn't stand a chance.
He didn't stand. He was made of sand.
He didn't stand a chance.
He just.
You remember? Remember when Maven won? He won Tough Enough, and his first rivalry out of the gate was against the goddamn Undertaker.
Yeah.
I was like,
oh, okay.
Oh my god! What? It's like they just knew they were gonna squash him immediately. They knew. All right, this guy won Tough Enough. Always put him against the Undertaker. He needs a good rivalry. It's like fucking. Well, so Maven's not going to be a thing in a couple months, huh?
No, and didn't he get hurt? Like right out, like 2 matches in or something?
Oh, I'm sure he did.
I remember one of his early matches. I don't remember who he was wrestling, but his neck, he twisted, and his neck got caught between the middle and top, and he literally had a freak out, and almost died. It was really scary, and I remember that. And I remember seeing that going, yeah, this guy's not gonna be anything because he just
that poor dude
he just showed everybody that just the fear. That
was kind of do you remember when J&J Security with Jamie Noble? That's right,
Jamie Noble, yeah,
and Joey Mercury and Jamie Noble.
Who remembers Nydia?
That girl.
That was like when
He's got a face for radio.
Oh boy! You're telling me, buddy.
Do you remember when Sin Cara first came over and he, like broke his finger and so he flies out of he breaks his finger and he like lands on the outside of the ring and then just calls off the match. Like he does something like Triple H would never ever do. He literally was like, and then like calls off the match and leaves because he breaks his finger. And I remember being like, well, Sin Cara's not going to be a thing, huh?
Yeah. Shit, you get hurt in the business, man. And like, if you can't handle that, then...
Because Triple H, I'm sure he went to the back and Triple H was like, well, you're fired. You're fucking fired. Because I think the next week somebody else was wearing Sin Cara's gear.
Yeah, because they didn't want to let that design go to waste. He looked cool, and he was awesome.
Yeah.
Didn't he have like 1 or 2 matches before he broke his finger?
Yeah, it wasn't a ton. It wasn't a lot, but he
was crazy good.
He's good, but except for he had a lot of weird demands, like the ring, everything had to be orange, like lit orange for the match, and he had really weird demands, like which I guess that makes. I mean, if you're he was like the biggest wrestler in Mexico, though.
Well, his lineage is based off of Nacho Libre, or Nacho Libre was based off of the guy who trained him and gave him his gimmick.
Yeah, really.
So Sin Cara is actually called Mystico in Mexico.
That's right, Mystico. Right.
Yeah, and I fucking love him.
Hunico traded in. That's right. Hunico became Sin Cara eventually.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
which is no face, man with no face or no face.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Well, man, that was a show. I really enjoyed that.
Every time.
That was great.
Really good choices this week for the top 5. Next week, I don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but we're going to talk about something.
Yep, and there will be another top 5. This one will be a top 5, so we won't be quite as excited.
It will be the best of something, though, and we don't know what yet, though, but it'll be the best.
I might be able to get Skate Pierce on the show.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, so maybe.
Yeah. And then I want to get Zach on the show, too.
Yeah, Zach, too. Be great. I'm excited
coming
for
up
Zach.
here.
Yeah.
Gonna be fun. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening to the show or watching the show. Have a great weekend. Enjoy Fighter Fest next week.
Great American Bash.
Yeah. Thank you, Randy. Thank you for tuning in and helping us remember stupid shit. Good times. Awesome. Man, I had a good time. Thanks everybody. Have a great night.
Great.
Take care.
Cheers.